Hello there! Welcome back to one of my past paper walkthroughs. This time I'm going to go through the GCSE Computer Science exam for the OCR syllabus. So it's an OCR paper from 2022. So it's paper 1, which is theory. So before I do, please remember to click that like and subscribe button, hit the notifications bell, and also make a comment down in the link below. And let's get right into it. Yep, total marks out of 80, and a lot of that's going to be in the mathematical stuff, which they got to ask, and it's just going to be copy and paste the mark scheme. So, first question. Computers represent data in binary form. We need to tick one box in each row to identify the binary unit equivalent to each of the given file sizes. So 2 petabytes is 2000 terabytes. 2 kilobytes is going to be 2000 bytes. 16 bits is going to be 2 bytes, and 2 bytes is going to be 4 nibbles. 4 marks, bosh. There we go. Next one. Stuff they got to ask. Convert the denary number 221 into 8-bit binary. This is how we do it. Type in the placeholders 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. 1. So 128 plus 64, 192. Nope. Then we add 16. That's going to be 208 plus 8 is 116. 216 plus 4, 220. So it's not going to add 2. Add the 1 is 221. So 221 equals 1101, 1101. Bosh, done. There we are. Bosh, correct. 2 marks just for basic primary school maths. Or elementary school maths if you're watching from abroad. Next one. Convert the hexadecimal number 2F into binary. So, this is how we do it. 8421. 8421. Let's get the placeholders. 0, 0, 1, 0. Then we want 1, 1, 1, 1. We've converted hex into binary using the 2 nibbles. Now we just want to do the whole bytes in placeholders. So we know it's 32, 40, 44, 46, 47. Bosh. Correct there. So we converted hex into binary, then binary to denary. Job done. Okay. Next one. Let's convert the binary number 1011 0000 into hexadecimal. So it's going to be 8421 8421 1011 0000. That's going to give us D. So it's not going to be D. 8 plus 2 is A plus 1 is B. So it's going to be B, 0. Done. Okay. And the next one, identify how many unique values can be represented by 4 bits. It's going to be 16 because it's going from 0 to 15. So it's 16 bits. Next one, we need to perform a binary shift of 3 places to the right of the binary number 1000 1110. Do the shift. We're going right. 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. So we're going 3 places right. So we're shifting that 1, 1, 2, 3. Hence why you've got the zeros here, then your 1s, and then you've got 3 zeros here, and then you've got your 1. So we've shifted that 3 places right. So that is binary shifting there. On to the next one. So this one is what can be a difficult one to do. So with a question like this, they're looking for theoretical knowledge on this one. So definition: stores the address in the next instruction to be fetched from the memory and increments during each fetch execute cycle. That is going to be the program counter. Okay, what does the control unit do? The control unit is going to synchronize coordinates. So it's going to synchronize the processor. It's going to decode instructions. And it's also going to run the fetch, decode, execute cycle. So if I was doing that approach, I would say it decodes, I would say it synchronizes the processor and runs the fetch, execute cycle. And then the last two, stores the address of data to be fetched from or the address where the data is to be stored. That is the memory address register. And then the fourth one, performs mathematical calculations, logical operations. That's the arithmetic logic unit, ladies and gentlemen. So it's the arithmetic logic unit. Okay. A library has a LAN. So LAN allows access to both wired and wireless devices. Users have reported that network sometimes runs very slowly. So we need to explain why the number of devices using a network at the same time can affect the performance of a network. So if I was doing this, I would say more collisions means more data has to be retransmitted, and I would also say loss of more packets. So it's 1 mark per bullet point. So I've mentioned 3 of those bullet points, which means 3 marks, bosh, done. Next one, we need to identify one other factor that can affect the performance of the network. You can have bandwidth, you could have interference, you could have wired or wireless, you could have central hardware performance, you could have error rate, you could have distance between nodes, you could have topology, or you could have wireless repeaters. But the one that comes into mind for me is bandwidth. So now we're on to the next one. This is a classic fill in the blanks. Users can access website from a library computers. We need to complete the description of accessing websites using a given list of terms. Not all of them are used. So these are all of the terms, quite a lot. So what we need to do is fill in the blanks. Website is hosted on a web server. That's one. The computers that access websites are called Uniform Resource Locators, or URL in layman's speak. The user will then, what's going on here? User will enter the, okay, so there, misread that one by accident. So the computers that access websites are called clients. My apologies there. The user enters the uniform resource locator into a web browser. The web browser then sends a request to the domain name server. So domain name server for the matching IP address. So if found, the IP address is returned, a request is sent to the IP address. An IP version 4 address is made of 4 groups of digits. Each group can be the denary values 0 and guess what? 255. And then the groups of digits are separated by a full stop. There we go. Bosh. Done. 7 marks, 7 words. Really nice question, this one, if you know what you're doing. Okay, so the next one, we need to explain why the Ethernet is a standard. So the wired connection is an Ethernet connection, and it's considered a standard. Why is it a standard? It's because the Ethernet is used by all manufacturers. That's 1 mark. And the Ethernet is used in many devices. That's 2 marks right there. Okay. So the network has several routers, so we need to identify 3 tasks carried out by a router. So it's going to receive packets, that's 1. Second one is going to be maintain a routing table. And the third one is going to assign IP addresses to nodes. So those would be the 3 points I would have for 3 marks. You could, however, also have convert packets from one protocol to another, forward packets. We're going to have identifying the most efficient path to the destination. But the library does not use encryption when data is transmitted through the network. Uh-oh. What's going to happen when you get hacked? Well, this is why we've got to give 2 reasons why the library should use encryption. Why? Because data cannot be understood if it's intercepted, and only authorized users can access confidential material. If you're really desperate and not sure, you could just say to follow the Data Protection Act. But any of those two of those 3 points, it's 2 marks. F. Protocols are used to transmit data through the network over the internet. So we need to identify 1 protocol, yes, 1 protocol, that can be used to perform each of the following tasks. Send an email, access website securely. To send an email, you need a simple mail transfer protocol. To access a website securely, you need a hypertext transfer protocol secure, or HTTPS. So, to recap, send an email, SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Access website securely, HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. And there we go. Number 4. Social networking websites use artificial intelligence to monitor posts from users. So we need to discuss positive and negative uses of AI by social networking websites. So that's going to be including legal, ethical, and privacy issues. So on a question like this is where we need to plan. So we need to plan questions like this. Because this question is worth 8 marks. So 8 marks, we need to plan. So I'd be thinking about what are the legal issues? So think of the laws you would have learned. Data Protection Act, because when you access social media, you're giving your personal data. Copyright Design and Patents Act, (1988), Data Protection Act, 2018. So those are the two acts we could talk about. So those are your two legal issues. So Data Protection Act requires organizations to ensure personal data is secure and people cannot access it. So the AI algorithm should not be able to breach security in this instance. That'd be one. Then we got a Copyright Design and Patents Act can help to check for plagiarism. Yes, plagiarism. So those doing their GCSEs or doing resits should know what that is, because you would have been told in class unless you've been snoozing a little bit too much. If you've been snoozing a bit too much, if you plagiarize, you fail miserably at that. Okay, let's get back to that. So it helps to check, so you can use that to check plagiarism automatically and highlight posts such as videos or images. So that's what the Copyright Design and Patents Act can do. And we could also have the Computer Misuse Act, will mean the use of AI could be to check that materials posted online are legal which will be blurred as different countries have different computer misuse laws. And when signing up, users will have signed an agreement to the terms when signing up, so should be expected to follow the rules of the social media website. That is legal stuff. Ethical issues. So ethical is basically based on your personal values. So what you might think is ethical, another person might think, what are you doing? Okay. So with ethical issues, users may not want everything they post to be monitored, let alone censored. Yes, censorship is a big ethical issue in that one. So the AI system may incorrectly block users and or their posts. So the AI system can, however, limit plagiarism and make sure inappropriate content is not published or taken off if it is. And the reason I'm saying that is because AI systems are only as good as the person who made it. So the websites will need to tell users what it is doing, and they have to agree to it. So you could have a record of monitoring reports that may be stored and used for other means. So users may feel safer using the social media website because they know inappropriate material will not be published. And then we've got the other issue, which is privacy. So users may feel they are being watched all the time. So in short, this is Big Brother. So terms and conditions may actually sign away users' individual privacy rights when using the website. And people may, however, prefer a computer to analyze their posts rather than people reading them and taking them the wrong way. So, and the reason I'm saying that is because what you might think, I'm only saying it because with good intentions and no harm. Another person reading it could be thinking, nah, I don't like that at all. But anyway, that is a type of answer that is a type of answer there. So that sort of answer is in 3 bands. So you got band 1, which is low level, 1 to 2 marks. Band 3 to 5. Band 2, that's 3 to 5 marks. And band 3 is 6 to 8 marks. To get the 8 marks, we have to have a thorough knowledge and understanding of a wide range of considerations in relation to that question. So we're going to make sure the material is accurate and detailed. The candidate is able to apply that knowledge and understanding directly and consistently to the context provided. And we would need evidence explicitly relevant to that explanation. And the candidate should be able to weigh up both sides of the discussion and include references to the impact on all areas, showing thorough recognition and influencing the factors, with a developed line of reasoning, which is clear and logically structured, which is why I've structured 1 paragraph for legal, 1 paragraph for ethical, 1 paragraph for privacy. So if we structure it in that way, can't go wrong. So that's how I would structure it. Okay, so I'll give you some time to have a little look at this. Okay, so that is the legal stuff. 8 marks, if you get these 8 marks, you can't go wrong. You're going to get these 9s. Okay, number 5. Software development company wants to protect their computer systems and data from unauthorized access. So we need to identify 2 methods of physical security that the company could use to protect their computer systems. So I would have locks and CCTV. You could have biometric entry to the room, passcode entry to the room, you could have alarms, you could have security guards. But if it was me, I would have locks, CCTV. And then for here, we need to identify and describe 2 software-based security methods that the company can use to protect their computer systems and data. So if I was doing this, first method that would come to mind would be a firewall. 1 mark for saying firewall, and then we would need 2 marks. So firewall will scan for malware and compares data to a database of malware. That's 3 marks just for that. And then method 2, I would say encryption, because it scrambles data using an algorithm. That's also 3 marks right there. 6 marks in the bag, do something like that, bosh, done. There we are, 6 marks, bosh. Okay, on to the next one. So we need to tick 1 box on each row to identify the legislation that will cover each given event. So a company transmits personal data to another company without the individual's permission. That's the Data Protection Act. A school accidentally publishes their students' addresses on the school website. Remember, students' addresses is an example of data, which is why you would tick that under the Data Protection Act. If the interface for, say, a piece of software is replicated by a rival company, that falls under the Copyright Design and Patents Act. If a user needs a computer logged on and another user leaves them a message on their desktop, or a student guesses their teacher's password and accesses their computer account, both of those will fall under the Copyright Design and Patents Act. Computer Misuse Act. So the first two is Data Protection Act. The middle one is Copyright Design and Patents Act. And the last two is the Computer Misuse Act. Okay? Because the last two involves misusing computers. And the first two is about data, and the third one's about copyright. So you've got to almost read in between the lines with these. Number 6. A student is creating a range of documents for a school project. The student records a podcast about computer science. So we need to describe how an analog sound wave is converted to digital form. So I would say sound wave is sampled, and then each sample is stored as a binary number, and the binary number for each sample is stored sequentially. That's 3 marks in the bag, bosh. Okay, on to the next one. So we need to tick 1, and I mean 1 or more boxes on each row to identify the effects that each change will have on the sound file. So let's say I want to change the duration from 10 minutes to 20 minutes. The file size is going to increase. Say I want the sample rate to go from 44 kilohertz to 8 kilohertz. The file size and the accuracy are going to decrease. Say I want the bit depth to go from 8 bits to 16 bits. The file size and the accuracy will increase. Okay, let's get on to the next one. The student writes a report about volcanoes. The student stores text using the ASCII character set. So part of the ASCII character set is shown. MS77, N78, O79, P80, Q81, R is 82, S is 83, so we need to identify the character that will be represented by the ASCII demicode 84, and that's going to be a T. Yeah, the letter T, as in T for tea, cup of tea, if you're in the British Isles. Or T for tap. Next one, we need to identify a second character set, and that second character set is Unicode. So now we're on to the next one. The student takes a photograph of their science experiment. Image file includes metadata. So we need to identify 3 pieces of metadata that's often stored within an image. So, pieces of metadata, it's data about data. So that could be height, width, and you could have color. You could have other things in there like date, geolocation, file size, file type, compression type, and author. Any 3 of these will get you 3 marks. But if it was me, the obvious ones that all go pow to me, it's going to be height, width, color. Okay? Then on the next one, the student compresses all their documents before emailing them to their teacher. So we need to give 2 benefits of compressing the data before it's emailed. So the benefits of compression is the file size is reduced and it takes less time to transmit. You could have also, it requires less storage space, it uses less bandwidth to transmit, and uses less data to send. If it was me, I'd have reduced file size and takes less time to transmit. And then we've got explain why lossy compression may not be appropriate to submit all of the student's files. It's because if you do lossy compression, data will be permanently lost, and text files cannot be compressed using lossy compression. Those 2 points is what I would mention, which will get you 2 marks. You could also say the teacher will require the original image, or the original video, or the original sound files. So we're on number 7. Let's see, yep, that's the last question. So we're on the home stretch. Home stretch now. Smart television allows users to search the internet and watch videos online. Smart TV has RAM and ROM. What's the difference? ROM is non-volatile. RAM is volatile, whereas RAM is volatile. Saying that, that's 1 mark. Bosh, done. That's all you need to say. ROM is non-volatile. RAM is volatile. Next one. Give 2 examples of data that a smart TV could store in the RAM. So this isn't anything to do with what you see on the telly necessarily. It's about what can be stored. So examples would be source being watched, like HDMI 1, current channel being watched, the current volume, the button pressed by the user, data being downloaded, web browser that's running, operating system that's running, and the current video being watched. So if I was mentioning this in terms of TV, I would say current volume and current channel being watched, because they are two bleeding obvious things that stands out to me, because a lot of people watch a lot of telly every day. Okay? But not everyone. So, on to the next one. Smart television has secondary storage. We need to state, using an example, why the smart television needs secondary storage. The reason why it needs secondary storage is because it needs to store data once the computer is turned off. And you'll get another mark for naming an example, such as recorded show. Nice and simple, 2 marks. If you watch TV and can't read that, there's something wrong. So if I had to state that, it would be To store data once the computer's turned off, 1 mark. One such example, recorded show, 1 mark. Put them together, what does that make? 2. Bosh, done. Next one. Identify one appropriate secondary storage for a smart TV. And we need to justify our choice. So we get 1 mark for saying the secondary storage type, which needs to be either magnetic or solid state in this case. So I would say solid state. Just for saying that would get you 1 mark. And then we just need 3 points. So I would say it runs quicker, 1 mark. Produces less heat, 2 marks. And uses less energy, 3 marks. You could have large storage capacity for storing software. Television may be moved so it's durable. You can have fast data access television will be more responsive. Cost of purchase is low, so the TV is not too expensive to manufacture. Or you can have compact, so the TV can be made smaller. But I would have solid state because it runs quicker, produces less heat, and uses less energy. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the actual paper. So we've gone through the 2022 paper 1 of the GCSE computer science paper for the OCR exam board. So I'm glad we made it. So please remember to click that like and subscribe button, hit that notifications bell for more notifications on future videos, which I enjoy making. So, and hopefully you'll be prepped up. So what you need to do now, like I said, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click that notifications bell, especially if you want more of my videos like this or you find them helpful. All I gotta say now is practice, 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 and good luck. So please be sure to hit that like, and please also remember to hit that subscribe button. And another way to subscribe is to just click on this link, which is below each video I place. And if you like my content and you want to find out more about what I do, I've also got an online course called Introduction to Computer Systems on the Udemy website. So you just need to click on it. And there we go. So this is my online course, Introduction to Computer Systems. So this is the landing page for that course. So in it, you will learn. So these are some of the things we'll learn, like explaining the role of the central processing unit, describe the components of the CPU, provide an introduction to assembly language, which is low-level programming, explain the factors that affect the performance of the central processing unit, and I've also put in another bit that I'm interested in, the physics of overclocking the CPU, which may me develop an interest in electronics and also physics. So there's a lot more to it than even we realized. So this is the course content. So you've got computer systems, so I'm introducing you to it. Then I'm going into the different forms of architecture and assembly language. Then I'm going into the factors that affect it and the physics of overclocking the CPU. And then I'm going into logic, so combinational logic systems, making the logic gates, sequential logic systems, semiconductors. Then I go into all things binary, where we introduce you to number systems, all the way down to doing binary and sound, images and text. And then finally we got input and output devices and the different forms of storage, so that's where memory will come in. And then my assessment is basically one big quiz of 30 questions. So you don't need any knowledge to do this course. All you need is a computer with stable internet connection. So that's all you really need there. And why you should do the course? Well, wherever I don't know, I'll go out and learn it. So the way my brain is wired is I'm on the autism spectrum. So it will be an asset in helping you get through the online courses that we provide. So we understand how to explain things in simple terms due to my teaching background. So you could think of us as a real-life version of, say, a Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory, minus the rudeness, or a C-3PO, but without the glitches. So I'm on the autism spectrum, so we're on the autism spectrum and have a rough idea on how to talk to them and relate to them. And my teaching style is that style I've crafted, and one that works in a way that some people don't get if they only had tuition in the classroom or just want to study the subject a lot more. So this course provides you with the opportunity to go further than you would in the subject that you want to pursue. So those are some of the reasons why you should consider buying this online course, because once you buy it, it's yours for a lifetime. For some of my videos, I will go through programming tasks. So if you want to do these yourself, I have put a REPL link below on my programming videos. So you just click on REPL, and this is what you need if you haven't signed up at all. So you just click sign up. If you've got an account, you just click log in, and once you've logged in or signed up, this is the page that will appear. So if I was to log in right now, this is the page, so this will appear. So that will be the page there. And in addition to all that, I am also a private tutor where I offer my private tutoring services specializing in ICT and computer science. And I look forward for you coming to me for lessons. Goodbye for now.